Share the stories. Keep the faith. Bring the bones. Carve the bones. Hello and welcome to another ARC review, and this one is for an author that I've ARC reviewed for before. This is for The Bone-Drenched Woods by L.V. Russell, and the book I have done previously by the same author is The Quiet Stillness of Empty Houses, and you can find that ARC review either up there or down in the comment section below. But this one is another fantastic title from Quill Crow Publishing House, my favourite publishing house, because they love all things gothic, horror-filled, and a little bit weird. I like it. So some of the titles I have ARC read for the publishing house are arrayed up here, and you can find all of the ARC reviews for these books down in the comment section below or in my ARC review playlist on my channel, which is where you are if you're watching this. But let's get into the ARC. So I applied for this, as I apply for most of the ARCs, via a post on Instagram. And this came up with the cover art, which you will find here, because oh my god, this cover art is phenomenal. I don't know who the artist is, but my god, they need a raise, because this is probably the most perfect cover I have ever seen, and it's probably going to be my favourite cover of all year. And that includes some of the stuff that comes from the book boxes, which you can see all these sprayed edges down here. This cover, wow, I would happily have this as a tattoo, because this is giving me full Watership Down vibes. And it dragged me in, and then I saw the author name and I thought, my god, yes. And then I read the blurb and I was like, just take me. Just take me. I'm going to have this, whether it's going to be an ARC read or whether I'm going to wait for it to come out, but I am going to own this thing. I'm going to read it and own it and squidge it and sacrifice it and all the wonderful things. But with that said, let's get into the blurb. And you can look at this fabulous artwork while I read it. Carve the bones. 1 for the gate, 1 for the door, 2 for the mantel, and 3 for the floor. Hyacinth Turning knows the terrors beyond her village, the insatiable hunger of the teeth. She listens to the sermons given by the elders in their hareskin masks. She watches as the heathens hang and the witches burn. They tell her to be good and quiet. But Hyacinth is neither good nor quiet. After a series of tragic events, Hyacinth finds herself hastily wedded and sent far away from all she has ever known to a settlement at the edge of the sea, where more than just the teeth are hungry. Another horror swims below, leviathan shadows kept at bay by offerings of flesh and bone. But no sooner does Hyacinth take root in her new home do the teeth and the deep come to feed. Suspicion soon falls upon the outspoken Hyacinth, who spends more time with the outcasted Morgan Carraway than her own husband. The elders want her burned, her husband wants her hanged, and a long-lost love claws at her dreams. But Hyacinth only wants one thing, a life and death of her choosing. I mean, damn! I am all in for that. All in for it. Now, you can probably tell from my excited demeanour that this book I loved. Struggling, even writing the review of this, even with like my book of notes open for me to take notes while I read. I took no notes except the title because I was that engrossed. I read it took me about 5 hours, but I wasn't here anymore. I was in the pages and I took no notice of anything around me. I was just in all the way. It's so magnificently dark and so chillingly atmospheric that I found my imagination just devoured. The whole imagination gone. I was completely in it, and everything about it I adored, which, yeah, and I was fully immersed. Now, although I am reading this in the year 2025, the modern technological age, this book reads like you have been exploring dusty, abandoned ruins, found it under a crumbling brick wall. It's covered in dust, it's covered in cobwebs, it's falling apart, it's aged. You pick it up and you start to read, and that is how this book reads. Like it's written centuries ago by the people that you're reading about, and you've just discovered it. Which I know she wrote it like in the past couple of years, in the 2020s, but it doesn't read like that. It reads like it is the age that you're in, which is... See, I'm struggling hard to get across what exactly I mean, so I hope it's coming across right. It reads as if it was written in like the 1700s, and but in keeping, it keeps you immersed and engaged even when it reads like that. Because I know some people, they read the classics and they struggle to read it because the language is just too overwhelming, or it's too descriptive because people didn't get out that much. But this, it works. It works so well. Because the world that Hyacinth and therefore us are in is brutal and terrifying. The forest that encircles their little village of like wooden little stone huts is just teeming with the most horrific things you can imagine, or don't imagine, because you can hear them in the dark. And don't read this at night, because you will hear things in the dark that are not there. And these horrors demand blood sacrifice and ritual, as do most horrors lurking around in the forest. And they don't care if it's animal or human, but they do with the amount of pain that the thing goes through before it is sacrificed. The more pent-up emotion is what they feed off of, as well as ripping apart your flesh. And if these horrors do not have enough, they slake their thirst by coming out in after dark into the village and taking as much blood, sinew, flesh and brain matter as they can, as they want, with whoever they want. They are a bit choosy, but they're not that choosy. Now, Hyacinth is our main character. We're kind of in her head, but we are reading as a third person, and she hears the song of the wilds of the forest, and she feels it. It pulls at her soul, it pulls at her spirit, it calls to her the way that none of the village life or the village religion, none of that calls to her at all. She thinks it's absolute bollocks. Which is not a good opinion to have when it's you're the only one that has that opinion in a sort of cult-like setting, with the elders spouting this religious stuff to give blood sacrifice to these horrors that are in the forest, and you're there thinking that the religion is complete pish, and you hear the song of the forest and that's where you want to go. And of course there is sacrifice. This is a cult-like thing. People are terrified of what is in the forest, and rightly so. And they're also terrified of what is in the deep, and rightly so, because those things are just something out of Lovecraft's imagination, because they are just gigantic big things that are in the deep of the ocean and that demand sacrifice, or they will come up and take what they want and do, and it's horrific and also good to read. Hyacinth as a character is as strong and as brutal as the world that she inhabits, all the while maintaining that she does not conform to the religion and the dictates set forth by these elders and the people around her. And the people that love her or like her are trying to protect her as best they can, while she's still trying to be herself, which is incredibly difficult and an incredibly fine line for her to try to tiptoe across, and most of the time it doesn't end well. Now, as you can tell from my channel, I love the old fairy tales and old folklore, especially the darker kind, which this, thankfully, this is dark in all the best ways. As soon as it comes out, I am going to order the book because our creeds come on my Kindle, so at the minute it is on my Kindle, but I want a physical copy and I want it in my hands. That is how good this arc is. It's a 5-star arc read. Beautiful, the cover is amazing, the story is rich, engaging, completely mesmerising, dark, mysterious, all the best ways. Now, it doesn't have any trigger warnings that I can remember, but it is brutal, and I mean brutal. You do get descriptions of flesh being ripped off the bone and things eating other things and things being killed for these blood sacrifices. So if you're the slightly bit squeamish around body horror, you might want to just go into it with your eyes open. But would I recommend this book? I would recommend this book to absolutely everybody, and I am by doing this video, because I am going to put the link to the book as soon as it comes out in the description down below. I will be releasing this the day before it comes out, I think, if the dates all line up. But it's going to be out, and if you want to click the link to Quill Crow's website or the Amazon page, you will find that in the comments down below, because this book is probably going to be one of my favourite reads of the year. It is amazing. If you like the darker aspects, if you like the gothic vibes, this is a book that you are going to have to read. It is horrifying and glorious, and I loved it. So yeah, if you've read this, if you have heard of this, if you are going to put this on your TBR, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. I am nearly at 666 subscribers, and you bet I really want to get there. And as always, keep reading and try not to go into the woods after dark. No matter how many songs you hear, whatever's warbling in the woods is not your friend.
The moonlight soft embrace, dark star sips with calm and grace. Wine flows like whispers, secrets told, in the night where dreams unfold. Lonely shadows dance with glee, eyes of amber, soul set free. Finds they weave a tale so grand,